Welcome back to another Outback Fishing Adventures. Today I am going to show you guys how to tie a floating jig head. There is at least two different ways, so let's get started. And yeah, so what you need is you need line, 12 to 10 to 12 test line, maybe 15 depending on how big a fish you want to go after. So here's the line right here, and I'm going to show you one way to do it. So you have your swivel, and you want to tie it just like this. There's different ways you can tie it, but I prefer this way. Loop, loop, loop. You want to go loop, just like that. Just like that. Just like that. And then you have a little bit, but you don't want that, so you want to cut it. So you have your knot right there on your swivel, and then you want to connect your other swivel like that. And then you have more line. You want it about 1.5 feet, 2 feet long, which I have it here. So then you want to tie it just like this. You want to tie it just like this. Basically the same thing, so I'll let the music play and then I'll get back to you guys. Basically the same way you tied your other knot. Just like that. Got it just like that. Okay, so now you have your two swivels connected. And now, okay, so you kind of did this backwards. So you want to recut it. And we're going to, you're supposed to add, I add a egg weight first. Just like that. And then you want to connect your swivels. like that. So now you have your two swivels connected, and you have your egg weight, and now you want to add your floating jig head, and they come in every shape and sizes. They come in every shape and size, mostly in color. I meant color. They come in basically every color and size. So I'm just using just a random size. You can basically use any random color or size depending on what you want to try. I like to use green or the brighter colors just because I feel like the fish will bite it more because they'll be able to see it. So we're going to go ahead and tie it on just basically the same way. So you want to just wrap it around just like this. I would say probably 5 or 6 times. And then you want to, there should be a loop right at the hole. You want to connect that right. You want to connect it right through the hole. And then you want to just pull it. Just like that. And then of course there's string hanging, so you want to cut it. And you can use scissors, pliers, whatever you want to use to cut the string. The fishing line. And there you go. And then you want to basically add your bait, pretty much everything to chub, small creek chubs to large minnows and crawlers and crickets or whatever you want to put on your floating jig head. I like to use minnows and crawlers. I feel like that's the best way to catch fish. So that's one way. Another way is that's one way. So I'm going to show you the other way. It's very easy. I feel like more easier than this. So I'm going to show you that real quick. Depending on what you want to do, you have 2 different kinds of slip bobber choices. Floating bobber choices. Okay, so typically you just basically just get just ordinary fishing line out of your tackle box, but I'm just doing it to show you guys real quick. Okay, so here's just your typical swivel, basically the same swivel that I showed you guys in the other rig and the first floating jig. So your second rig, you basically want to just tie it the same way you tied it. Just like that. Just like that. Just your typical swivel, and then you want to use bottom weight. You can do any size of weight you want. That goes for the egg weight too. So you have your bottom, I just call it a bottom weight because it just sits like this on the bottom. And then you have your floating jig head, the same one that I showed you guys earlier. So, and then I'm going to do a loop. What you want to do for this loop, you can do it any size as long as it fits in the swivel. So you basically have your line, and then you want to connect your very top part of your line right there to about 3 or 4 inches with your the other side of your line, and then you want to just put the both on a finger just like this, and then you want to just connect both of them just like that, and there's your simple knot. And then we're just going to hook it on just like this. And there you go. So you got 2 different ways to hook your floating jig head. Does not matter because your weight's going to be at the bottom depending on how deep it is. It's going to be at the bottom, something like this. Your floating jig head is going to be up. And it all depends on how much a line you have, is depending on how far from the bottom your floating jig head will sit. But in lower water, you probably want it about a foot and a half, just because it's in lower water, because the higher you go, the higher to the top you go. So, that's 2 simple ways to hook on a floating jig head, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching again, and bye.